Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm glad to have you here. Now today we are looking at the Church of St Andrew in Roudham, Norfolk. And I did do some research online, get the camera straight. Got here and I didn't have to. That's always good. So let's have a look at what we have. Just turn the screen around so I can see what I'm looking at. We are in an active farming area, so there will be noise. So first, if I go nice and slow, you might have enough time to read all this. But basically the reason the church is a ruin is because back in 1736, when workmen were mending the lead on the roof of the tower, one of them tapped the ashes out of his pipe. Unfortunately, the ashes hadn't gone out, and it set fire to the thatched roof and basically burnt the church down. But the church has also been here for a long time. There have been discoveries of Saxon grave slabs, as we see a bit here, and the church probably founded in the late 1900s. And we can see the various different layouts. So in the 1100s, 1300s, 1400s it got expanded a bit, and to bring the chancel and nave to the same width, and the large window to the right of the tower went in. So yes, very interesting. If we look over here, we're looking out across the marshes, which did actually used to be, in medieval times, a much more interesting and lively place. So here we have the general origins of the village or hamlet of Roudham. Eastern Breckland, blah 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 blah. Actually, if I hold still for a few seconds you might be able to read it. You can hit pause and we move over here. But yeah, so there's evidence for it being at least Anglo-Saxon, so we're looking at 450 AD. 450, not 1450. So, artist's impression of what it used to look like in the 1300s. And over here, there is basically the Black Death wiped the village out at some point in history. I think around about the late 1349. So if we come up here, and you can, if you want, you can do the pausey ready thing. I could read it all out, but not really. So if we look at the map, we are here. The church is there. If you go over here, you can see where the mere was, and obviously continued the other side of the train tracks. But over here, and you can still see it in the landscape if you look carefully, there are sites of medieval manors and moats and all sorts around here, and roads and everything. Very interesting little village actually. Considering I live so close, I've never even heard anything. And I'm not sure. This is the. So this little building that we're standing in is kind of like a posh bus stop, built by a Roudham Millennium Committee in 2000, donated by the parish council, funded by parishioners, especially anti-waste. Land given by the Jollies, the Jolly family. And this is actually that fragment of Saxon grave slab that was discovered in the church. The actual fragment. Or perhaps a plaster cast or a cast of. They might not have the original on public display like that for weather getting destroyed. But here we are. Entering the churchyard. and I can't actually see anything in the camera because the sun is behind me. Oh, making sure we shut the gate behind us. If in the countryside or wherever you are, if there's a gate, shut it behind you. Be nice. Don't let animals in or out, or that kind of thing. So we have some older graves down the back here, and the current, more recent ones, which we won't look at. This one is very recent, it doesn't even have a headstone yet, so rest in peace, whoever you may be. All the flowers are still full of life, not deaded yet. So here we are at the church. As you can see, it is rather ruinous, but unlike so many churches around here that have fallen into disrepair and ruin, the tower is remarkably intact. You may well be able to hear though that it is, it's basically a pigeon sky rise now. And when we look inside, you'll see that there's a reason I've not actually been in there yet. As I say, it is rolling Norfolk countryside, all directions. With some actually rather well preserved, not that older graves. So this is only 1885 or 1883, something like that. And we come down to the gated or caged tombs. No, these aren't the witches' tombs to try and keep witches in the grave or devils or whatever. This is decorative and to keep people who shouldn't be messing with them anywhere near them. So we have Julia Hovell Harding, at 1871, age 42. So there is another one here, but with the brambles and everything, can't actually see what's occurring. I'm being a bit careful with the angles because there is someone's house just over there. Investigating that little pathway, I think it's with whoever's house that is. Probably walking their dog. Oh, shh, look. There's a wild Mary in a natural habitat. Look at that bum. Sorry. So, back to the church. Your standard local flint construction. It's kind of, it's not exactly a shortage of flint around Norfolk. We'll come down here, quite a steep drop off to get in. I might actually be able to see the screen and where I'm pointing the camera at now. So if we aim this way to the, I can't remember what direction's what at the moment. I think that might well be the east end of the church though. And you can see that was a mightily impressive window up there. There are warnings in place for falling masonry. So as you can see on the floor, fairly recent chunks that have come out of, I guess, that wall in recent storms. I'd say it's certainly a very nice and calm place to visit, especially right now because springtime is warm enough, but all the nettles aren't 6 foot tall. And once the nettles get high, you won't want to be coming in here. So again, we can just look out the window over at the marsh and where the mere was. You can possibly just about make out over there. There is still a small pond. As the wind gets up. Yeah, this is the Norfolk countryside, au naturel as posses. Oh, yeah. Future lasagnas or glue. So what I'll do next is I will just stick my head in the tower. So we've got the elder trees growing up everywhere around here. They're not an issue, they tend not to damage things. So you can see the build up on the floor. That is all pigeon poop and flints that have fallen down from above. So if I swear, it's because I've just been pooped on by one of them dudes up there. Yes, hello fat pigeons. Although they're countryside pigeons, so they aren't actually fat. An awful lot of them. They've been making some interesting noises as well. So unfortunately, there have been some people deciding it's a good idea to carve their names into medieval stonework and masonry, but you know, I don't have a problem with someone doing it with a piece of chalk, or yeah, it's just going to wash straight off the next time it rains kind of thing. Anyway, here I come up to the altar end, and this is where we did notice something, but we'll get there in a minute. We'll go have more of a looky-loo at the various stonework and masonry. Try not to point the camera directly at the sun. As I say, it's a beautiful mid-March day here today. And back to the tower. Now in the altar area we do have a series of 5 grave slabs. And this one is, can't remember what it was, I can't read it now anyway. I do apologise to the person. But this one, now, there goes the train. If you were aware of Mary and my, how should we put it, diggings into the history of Tivitshall St Mary Church and the former incumbent Reverend there, Mr John Boyce, well, Mary has been doing some digging into his family, and at some point it went from Boyce to Boyce, and I don't know if you can read that, and this is serendipity because we had no idea. That is a Mr Charles Boyce who died, I think it was the 18th. Again, apologies peoples, but I'm going to have to clamber up onto your leaves again. So, yeah. Sacred to the memory of Charles Boyce of Shipmeadow in Suffolk. Late of this parish, departed this life on 29th of September 1820, it looks to me, and I can't really read the other ones very well, but they're definitely Boyce's as well. So have we developed or opened up another place to dive into the history of the Boyces, Tivitshall? Are the two churches tied together? Was perhaps one of these Boyces either a local lord, landowner, vicar, reverend? We don't know yet, but we will look into it. I say we, Mary will look into it, because we know from transcribing Reverend John Boyce's will that he left a lot of land to his descendants, some not too far from here. So we shall see. Stay tuned for that. There will be updates on Churchyard Church anyway. We've got things we need to do there. It's just finding a time when there's no one else there. Anyway, how long are we gone? We're gone 15.5 minutes. So, from another gorgeous local Norfolk church. Unfortunately, this one is slightly more ruinous than others. If we finish off, smack the camera about. Get a quick zoom in. On the fenland. And from what I can see on the camera, it actually looks like water over there, but that might just be me not being able to see the screen very well with the sun behind me. So we'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, by the way. Yeah, I can't see where I'm pointing. Over there somewhere is Roudham Hall. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. A little bit of a history lesson. A little bit of an update. Plenty of pretty bird song. Some horny pigeons. But whatever your hobbies, whatever you do, have fun. Stay safe. Peace out. Bye bye.